to thank me later for this video. Hi, hello, my name is Natalie. Thank you so much for clicking on this video, and today I'm going to be sharing with you one of my favorite recipes that I make for family gatherings. A while back, I saw a lot of people making hot dogs out of carrots, but like just sticking the whole carrot in a hot dog bun, and I was like, there's no way this is good. But it gave me an idea. I always loved like the little pigs in a blanket when you were at like parties and family gatherings. And I was like, you know what? I make these really good ranch carrots. I bet you they'd be really good a mini hot dog form. You know what I mean? And you know what? It was really good. So this is my take on mini vegan hot dogs, AKA carrots in a blanket. I love these, my non-vegan family loves these, and obviously if I'm making it, it's super easy, super simple. If I can do it, you can do it. Let's get to it. So first you're gonna need a baking sheet, then you're going to need some baby carrots. I'm only gonna use about half of this bag because I don't have anybody to really share this with. But you can make as many as you'd like. Oh, that's a long one. Whoa, I'm gonna choose not to use that. Maybe I'll just eat it. Okay, so since it's me and my cooking style, most of you know who have watched my videos that I don't really measure. I just kind of do as I feel. But I am going to link a recipe down below for how much stuff to put on these carrots if you would like to follow a certain recipe. But for me, I'm just gonna give you a rough estimate. So what I first do is I kind of just coat them in olive oil, and then we're gonna start piling on our seasoning. So first is going to be onion powder. I just sprinkle that on there generously. Then I get my garlic powder and do the same thing. I try to put about the same amount of garlic powder as onion powder. And then I take some dried parsley. I usually take this kind of like a handful's worth, not a handful's worth, probably like a quarter, the size of a quarter in your hand. And then just kind of sprinkle that on there. Do whatever makes you feel great. Then we're gonna add some salt and some pepper, of course. And then lastly, I'm gonna put on some dill weed. This is what I kind of don't go too crazy on. I feel like the rest of the spices, I don't really care how crazy I go on it, but you don't want it to be like too much. See, I would say like a half a teaspoon on, if even that. Now, I just probably put a lot, I don't know. So then once I have all that on, I'm going to just rub them around, make sure they're getting all that loose seasoning on them. It smells so good. So what I do is I set my oven to 400 degrees and then I put these in for about 10 minutes, check on them, and then put them back in if I feel like they're not ready. And while I am waiting for that, I'm going to get the little crusts ready, the little blankets ready, whatever you want to call them. I personally just use the original Pillsbury crescent rolls. They are vegan. And we're going to open this up if I can figure it out. The other day when I was making these, I like left this on the counter for like not even that long. I would say like maybe 30 minutes, and this exploded. This whole thing just, like the opening came off. It was crazy. So don't leave these out in the warmth. Open that up. Wow, that was smooth. There's only 8 sections here. So what we're gonna end up doing is cutting them up for the amount of carrots that you have. Now, from my experience, I think you max out around like 20 pieces because then it just gets way too small. So if you're planning on making more than 20 carrots, you're gonna need another container of this. So this is where the math comes in. If I have 17, I think I have 17. Actually, I just recounted, I only have 16. So if there's 8 of these and I need 16, all I have to do is cut it in half, right? Yes, we love math here. So what I'm gonna do is take these triangles and just cut them in half, almost like on an angle, because you want it to be triangular. It's also going to depend on how big your little carrots are. These are actually gonna end up being a little bit bigger than I'm used to because I usually make about 20. Like I usually make how many the package can make for me. There's gonna be a little extra croissant on it, and that's okay. We love a little extra croissant. It's time! Now after the 10 minutes, again, it's gonna kind of depend on how big your carrots are. They're obviously not all going to be exactly the same, but this is kind of where you have to like take a little bit of a guess. So I just test it with a fork to see if it has a little bit of give here. If it seems like it's still just as hard as when you put it in, you might want to put it back in the oven. So I actually am going to put these back in for another like 3 minutes and then take them out, and they should be good. You shouldn't need to put it in for more than 13 minutes total, I don't think. But the 10 minutes is like the safe route, and if you feel like it's still too firm, then put it in back for another 3 minutes. But you shouldn't need to like put it in for more than that. Kind of poke these again. This feels pretty good. So I'm going to move these to the side, let them cool for 5 minutes, and then come back and assemble them. Okay, so now that they have cooled down, I'm going to grab a non-stick baking sheet. If you don't have one, not a big deal. Just put some olive oil on there so it doesn't stick. And then I'm going to assemble these. I just usually roll them on here. Just take your little carrot and start by like the end here, the point of the triangle, and then just roll it. And then you have a little carrot in a blanket. It's so cute. I love them so much. I try to range how big the carrot is versus the little puff pastry here. If it's a little too big, I just like tuck it underneath here. Again, these are gonna be a little bit bigger just because I didn't make as many carrots. And you wanna spread these out enough that when they bake, it's not going to be running into each other. So you may need another baking sheet. I ended up having to put them on 2 different baking sheets because you should have like thumb size worth in between here so they don't touch. So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna have your oven set to 350 if it is a non-stick pan, or 375 if it's not a non-stick pan. If it's not a non-stick pan. And then what you're gonna do is put these in for about 10 minutes, keep checking up until this is browned on the outside, and then take them out. So let's put them in.
Many minutes later.
Alrighty, so it has been 10 minutes, and honestly, they look good enough to me. I like the kind of browning that they have on it. This is what I usually aim for. So if it looks like this, you should be done. Totally up to you though, but I'm going to just take these and plate them up. And then that is it. Once you have plated them up and let them cool down, just dip it in the mustard. It's so good. What I love about these is they're not too soft. It doesn't feel like you're quite biting into a carrot anymore. Like it doesn't have that crunch anymore, but it still has like the substance that it needs. Everything about this is just so good to me. Of course I love it, but just the texture is perfect. The flavors that the carrot has is so good, and the butteriness and the crispiness of the outside of the little pastry is just everything you want for this, I feel like. It's a perfect appetizer for honestly any occasion, but especially now that it's spring, I feel like the carrot theme is more spring-like. Well, that is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. It's really that easy, that simple, that good. I hope you make it at home. Let me know if you do. Otherwise, please like down below if you enjoyed this, and comment and let me know what I should make next. And subscribe if you haven't yet. I upload every single week, usually on Fridays. I'll see you next time.